whatever. This will be uploaded into the Rapid Central as soon as we finish. So today, we've been speaking a lot about being productive and asking questions of the market and kind of focusing on a particular niche. And today I wanted to sort of focus on, how do we uncover the problems and the pain points that the clients that we're going after have, so we can construct more efficient marketing messaging, right? So lots and lots of people out there, they tend to focus on what I call high level messaging. So it's kind of like, hey, I do funding, do you want some? Which, can pull out some leads in the marketplace. But I mentioned this on last week's call. A lot of the time, people don't want funding because they need money. The money itself is actually to solve a particular type of problem. And if you focus on one particular type of company or business, then a lot of these reasons for funding tend to be repetitive. And the more we can create rinse and repeat scenarios with the way we generate leads, the easier it becomes, right? Because if the problems and pains are transferable, it changes the way you have the conversations, and you can generally get their interest by talking about those pains and problems. And what I mean by that is that most business owners are sensible, and they want to build a network of people that will be of use to them. So even if they don't need funding right now, the fact that you can demonstrate you understand their business at a different level to, say, the typical broker that reaches out, they're going to want to keep you to hand, right? So this is kind of some ways that we can do this and basically uncover your market's pains and problems. So I'm not saying you guys are thinking this, but it's quite common to think, well, why even bother doing that to get lead flow? Or I'm getting leads right now. Why do I even need to do this thing? And the reason I basically say this is actually what I've just been saying. It's actually, if you play a long game in this industry, right? It's a very efficient way to have leads coming back to you over time without you having to keep churning that wheel every single day. A lot of you guys are probably hustling right now, doing your connections and all of your outreach. But if you do this in the right way, then you're building out a network of people using this crafted messaging that, as I say, will keep you in their pocket for when they need funding. And then that starts to come back to you. So you start to generate leads off of the work that you're doing now for a long time to come. So trust me when I say it, it's very worth the investment of your time to do this sort of stuff, because again, it's just simple stuff, right? Who do we rather deal with, the specialist or the generalist? If we do this properly, we're perceived as being a specialist, and naturally we generate more leads and deals for doing so. So we want to just sort of talk about how you craft messaging that resonates. And this is actually, Matt's on the call, and Matt's flying right now, right? He's focused on the real estate market. And Matt, please chime in if I'm getting this wrong, but one of the things I believe he's doing right now is sending out this very email that gets the real estate investors' attention. And the reason it does is it's just dialed perfectly into the things that they look for when they're looking to get funding. A real estate business by nature needs funding to operate. And one of the things that we're very competitive on is our rates and the types of deals that we can do. So this naturally gets their attention. But it doesn't mean that this sort of scenario is not transferable across all of the other industries that require funding. So if you took that to construction, there's going to be messaging that we can construct for you or with you that will also pull out similar types of results. Okay, so I'm going to share this afterwards, by the way, guys, so you can use this email if you're going to go after the real estate niche. Do you have any questions there, by the way, before I move on?
No.
So the other thing, the reason we really want to do this is it moves us away from what I call transactional relationships. And transactional relationships, again, what most brokers have, which is this sort of, they're churning the wheel, they're getting a lead in, that client doesn't really care for them. They try and get the best or the highest rate they can get so they can get a big commission payout, and they move on to the next one. And it just creates burnout, because most brokers do not have relationships with clients where they come back for more, right? They kind of do the one deal and they move on to the next one, because generally they haven't had the best type of experience. I saw a deal the other day, I shared this with Milton, and the guy's got a whopping 63K commission, right? Which you might think, this is amazing, but he stitched up the client to do it. So he might have had this massive payout because the client was in a desperate situation, but that's a transactional relationship, because that guy's never going to come back afterwards, right? So this is also the reason we want to understand the pains and problems, because it moves us away from transactional relationships and helps us create consultative relationships. And we all know we pay more money for consultants. They offer a different level of, I've spelled that wrong there, by the way, guys, but forgive me. They offer a different level of service to those that provide a transactional relationship, which means if we can get a lead in and a client in whereby we're offering a different level of understanding of their business, it's very easy to create a relationship where they come back for more thereafter. And it's not uncommon where you can get a deal or a client coming back 2 or 3 more times in a 12-month period for funding. And if you're doing all of that work now, it's such a great feeling to be having these guys come back and uploading or reloading for finance and having paid that commission without having done any work for it. So if you kind of go on that sort of compound type of scenario, just by understanding the problems and building these types of relationships, you have 5, 10, 20 clients that keep coming back for more. You can make a ton of money without putting any additional work in to achieve it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So this enables you, and again, the training does this, and as we work with you guys more, I'll show you how to do this properly. This enables you to become the expert the businesses within your markets turn to when they need funding. And again, if we think about how most of the market operates, there's tons of people cold calling. No one's bothering to do any of this sort of stuff, right? So when it gets more competitive, and it will do because it's growing this market, there's lots more brokers coming in. Again, if you're seen as the expert, they will prefer to work with you, even if they haven't done yet, than the guy that's just, the 10th cold call that came through that day, or the generic email that came through, or the LinkedIn connection that's like everyone else's LinkedIn connection message. You're the person that's going to stand out. So this is a bit more of a long game. I appreciate that, but it will pay you in dividends down the road if you commit to following this strategy. And it equates to superior lead flow and market engagement. So if everyone else wants to do what they want to do, but we just do it our way, then we will be, and you will be connected with that, the chosen brand that they come to. Matt's actually probably the greatest example we've got right now of this happening. Matt's now essentially heading up the real estate division. We've got a lot of momentum going behind that. And as we start to get into that market more and more, we will dominate that with our brand, just because we will be perceived as being the specialist, and everybody in that team with Matt will also be perceived as being the specialist. So we will naturally start to organically have lead flow coming back to us without us having done anything to directly engage with that particular prospect. So the best ways to do this, guys, is going to be on LinkedIn or Facebook. The training that we offer focuses around these 2 platforms, purely because for what we're doing, they are the biggest databases available today to make this happen. And so what you need to do is connect as per the process that we offer for both LinkedIn and Facebook, but there's a different type of messaging that we can get into, right? So if you just basically ask somebody what their problems are in their business, they're probably going to look at you like you're a bit of a weirdo, right? So what we want to try and do here is appeal to their kind of their giving nature. Most people in business, or most human beings even, love to talk about what it is they do. So if we're actually showing an interest in them, by way of also potentially giving them something back, then you're going to get people actually wanting to help you answer this particular question. So experiment with this message. You don't have to use it exactly as I've done it. I have done this, guys, for the last 10 years. When I've started new businesses, I've started a market research business, a marketing business, a sales business, a recruitment business, and I did it using exactly this method. And the reason it worked is because I took the time to understand their problems before I focused on what it was I was offering, right? Because it helped me position my product. So again, I'm a specialist funder, enter the market that you're going after. Now, this is a kind of a white lie. It's not a complete untruth, because we are looking to offer different products in 2020. And the best way we can do that is by offering low rate. If you think of put yourself in the business owner's position, what is it they actually want if they're looking for funding? It's low rate finance, right? So we're basically saying here, we're pre-framing them for the question that we're going to ask. We're looking to bring out a number of things that will benefit you directly, okay? And to ensure that we give them, these products give you exactly what it is you need, can I ask you a simple question? So again, most people will not, most people will not answer you, right? But you've got to play the volume game. Sorry, does somebody want to say something there? No? Okay. So I've got a quick message coming there. So you need to kind of hit around 20 people to get around 2 people come back. But if you've got 10 responses to this question, then you're going to have a very good understanding as to what their key problems are. So we make the question specific. When it comes to running your business, what is the single biggest challenge or problem you face that if you cannot fix would mean your business fails or you are unable to grow? Again, think of the 2 key things that business owners really want. Well, what the main thing is to grow, right? And a lot can't do that. And they definitely don't want it to fail. And in a lot of cases, funding solves both problems. So we're going to directly channel in to the key thing it is they're focused on within their market that solves that problem. Now, the other thing of doing this is, let me just go into that in a second. This will also create lead flow, okay? Because you're going to naturally tap into people that still need funding anyway. And a lot of people appreciate the way that you've gone about asking that question. So what we're going to do, if we get 10 or 20 or however many people it is that come back to us on this, we're going to have a very, very clear understanding. Sorry, yeah, is that Derek?
Yeah.
Go on, dude. What did you want to ask?
Oh no, I didn't have you. I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry. We're going to have a very clear understanding then of what it is they're struggling with. So when we go to craft our messaging, rather than saying, hey, business owner, do you want funding? We can very, very specifically say, hey, do you want funding to help solve this problem? Knowing that it's a problem that they have. So even if they don't even know or haven't even thought about funding as a solution there, what we're doing is we're sowing a seed because they know there's a problem that they have. And then they're thinking, oh, actually, that might be something we could do. So then they jump on a call with you, right? So it's a very, very good way to bring out people that need funding now, but also people that potentially are thinking about funding in the future. And then a very quick follow-up message that we're going to give you as well. You know, a lot of people, again, with LinkedIn and Facebook, they won't answer straight away. So you just go very directly with the message. And again, what you'll find is you'll even have people apologizing to you for not answering the message, right? So it's a very, very different way of doing it. Any questions there at all, guys? No?
Nope.
Cool.
Nope.
And I've already just said this. This method would also produce leads. There's no way it can't because you're still approaching the very people that need funding. But again, what you're showing them is that you're not like everybody else. Okay, so that is the easiest and the quickest way to do this, whether you're using LinkedIn, Facebook, or both. Use that template or a version of to start finding out what the key problems are. Now, if you're doing real estate already, then you don't really need to do this because Matt's got this stuff nailed down, and you're likely going to be working within his team, or you can certainly reach out to Matt and he will help you with those answers. And then the other one is use Google, right? So I'm just going to quickly do this right now, live, to just show you how easy this stuff actually is. Sorry guys, let me just, should have written this. Oh. There we go. Right, so if I put in here top, so we know construction is a really good market to hit, especially for equipment finance. And what you want to do is just go to Google, top 10 problems with whatever industry or market is you're focused on, and you'll come up with some things, right? So I did this earlier on as a quick test, and this is the first thing that came up, and I haven't even dug into any of these other things here. And if I just show you very quickly here, if you know nothing about construction when you came into this, just by doing this one quick search, you will know that, there we go, number 7, one of their problems that requires funding is their available cash. But then it goes into more detail about why that's a problem. So that single piece of information there, what you could do as an example is use that knowledge that you now have and start crafting a different message using that template I gave you to make it even more specific. So you could even say, when it comes to accessing your available cash, or when it comes to making payments due to your subcontractors, blah, 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 what is the single biggest problem or challenge that you have? So you can take that problem to another level, an even deeper level, and start opening up things even further. But all of this requires funding. So hopefully you can see there, just by doing that, you're able to craft messaging that will definitely get their attention versus the good old bog standard, do you need funding question? Because you're only ever going to pull out people in the market that need funding right now, which is fine. But the way you're going to maximize your revenue opportunity is pulling out the people, the other 80% that don't need funding right now, but that want someone they can turn to when they do. Because if they're in the construction market, as an example, at some point, they're going to need funding. And there's nothing more powerful than getting lead flowing when, you're just getting leads coming to you asking for funding when you haven't technically even done anything for it. And then the main thing from this is that, yes, we're here to get leads. Yes, we're here to fund deals, but don't be linear in your approach, right? Talk to your market and focus on building relationships, because this is the stuff, I keep saying the same thing. This is the stuff that's going to pay you dividends in the future, right? So just think of other creative ways and how you can get on the phone with these different clients, different businesses, and just talk and engage with them. And again, do that well, superior lead flow and market engagement. So this is a two-part training, guys. There's this one I wanted to show you just to show you how simple this can be. But what I wanted you guys to do, if you want to do this, is start to use this method. I'm going to upload this video into the training center. And then part 2, we can come back and I'll show you how to take it, what you've learned, and actually craft marketing messaging that will resonate with your audience and get their attention, right? So it will stop you getting these no thanks, not right now type of answers, which I'm sure you must be getting if you're doing any type of outreach on LinkedIn as an example. To not right now, but let's jump on a call. I'd like to learn more about what you guys do. And that's the powerful thing. So it's a quick training, guys, but any questions at all on what I've shared?
Hey, Gavin, yeah, I have a question.
Shoot, man.
With the templates that you have, where do we insert? Yeah, just like where would I insert this particular template as an example in my my LinkedIn outreach?
So if you're doing
what particular
yeah, so if you've done your LinkedIn outreach, you'll have your initial connection message, okay, and then you'll get a connection. This would be your follow-up message.
Okay.
And then that would be the third message.
Okay. So once I get connected, I will use this one and then the next one.
Correct.
If necessary. Okay.
If necessary, correct.
All right.
And if you're doing it on Facebook, then this is the first message that you send out once you've made a connection with them. So if you're in the groups and you're friend requesting people, which I know some of you aren't doing, and I would strongly advise you do that, because it's, Facebook's a very easy way to get lead flow. Then, okay, you might want to just change it so it's less formal, like, hey, blah, 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 how you doing? How's things right now? Look, I just wonder if I could ask you a quick question. Like, make the messaging conversational, exactly how you would ask them if you were face-to-face. But this does give you a template. And the one thing you never change is the structure of this. It has to be when it comes to whatever it is they're doing and what's the single biggest challenge, because that focuses their mind on that one thing that they're trying to solve when it comes to whatever it is you're asking them that problem is connected with. So the key bits there is that sentence, and then these two bits here. And that really focuses it in. But again, you know where I am, guys. So if you need help with this, just let me know. We'll jump on a Zoom and we'll work it out. Any other questions?
No, I don't have one. This is Derek.
Okay, man. Jerome, Matt, you all good? Maybe they're not even there. Okay, guys, I think that's about that then. If no one's got any questions, I'll share the recording afterwards. Patricia, while you're there, have you got? I know you wanted to speak after anyway, but Milton and I would love to talk to you about something.
Okay.
If you have the time.
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Let me just stop that share there. Okay, guys, if you haven't got any other questions, then that is the first part of the training. I will upload that recording in Rapid Central. If you get the time, as I say, I strongly recommend you go through this and just see what you can come up with. And then in part 2, we'll take your real life findings and we'll start crafting you some messaging.
Okay. Thanks, Gavin.
All right, guys. And I probably won't speak to you now. So have yourself a very, very happy Christmas. And I'll catch you on the other side.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Hi, Milton.
Hey, Patricia.
Hey.
I think it's just Derek there. Gone. And then there were 3.